Good evening, or good morning. I only want to tell you something, and maybe I try to make it a bit short. I get a message today, and I was really glad about that. And somebody has written me that he know that I'm right with the vibrations, and he know that too. Everything is right then. Disturbing. Sometimes, always, the people disturb. So no. And I know that he know that I'm right then, because he make better calculations. Our ideas about gravitation are all wrong, and he can prove it. And he sent me some papers about that per email. Well, I don't doubt that those calculations are correct. I really don't doubt that. It's all right, probably. But and also I'm sorry, I was disturbed in this moment, and now of course my thoughts go in a different direction. I better come to you again. And also he say what was behind the Big Bang. He can prove that. And here I start to boil inwardly. You see, yes, we can prove everything. So many times, everything, we could prove anything. And we can prove anything, and we can next week prove anything. It's okay. And I try now to tell you, it is the question what level you get until you discover something. It might be true and it might be possible that our ideas about gravitation are wrong, but that is something, for me, not very, very logical, because, of course, when in a state where a lot of processes happened, immediately the time become a bit more heavier, and then the time is a bit faster or slower, but anyway, it's different to another point, which no processes happened. Then it stands still, normally. And we travel through time, I told you also. But the point is now, it's a question of vibration. What you will meet, what you will get, what you will have, and what is more, and that is the beyond of everything, how are you and what you like to be? It is here really a travel, and it's always a kind of ego trip. But in that way, you are asked for how do you want to be. And tell you what, with a high vibration, you will understand everything when this vibration is very high. Everything in physics, in chemics, in biology, everything. Because you have the highest level, of course. But that doesn't mean that you, until the time you have that in full, you don't have to study. And that doesn't mean that you don't have to work. No, not at all. Everything fine, everything correct. But while you are doing so, you have to ask yourself, what do I send out and what do I willingly accept? And is that what I'm doing with me all right? Is that okay for me? Is that okay? Is that what I like to be? Even in uncomfortable situations. Sometimes you are maybe in temptation that you say, when I do that, I'm well off, I'm fine. But what does it mean for the others? And do I want to be a person like that? Is it for me all right? Is it okay? Or to make it less dramatically, let's say you can have a job, which one you like to have, and another guy want to have the job also, and now you start to spread out some rumors about him in order that you get the job then. Do you like to be a kind of person like that? Or do you like to be a person who suffers from that? Both, probably, we say immediately no, of course not. People are better than we think. But the point is that we can hide ourselves a bit until the whole group. We are not so much in temptation when we have a group leader which tell us who tell us what we can do or what we shall do. Immediately, we stop to think and we give up our responsibility. That's human behavior. It was and it is like that until we start to understand and to discover how great our responsibility really is. And that it is not a coincidence without any intention what happened to us. And it is not a coincidence without any intention what we were spread out. We have really our chances and we have really our possibilities to take that or that direction. It's all right. And especially when somebody say, I have a very new and a complete new idea about our universe. It is maybe correct then. Who I am to tell you no or yes, I don't know. But definitely I know something. However great that idea may be, it depends on our level if we can understand it then or not. That is the point. And the point is that it's up to us if we like to fulfill that or not. And that is somehow, that is really very, very important. Because I can now don't go to somebody else and take him by his sleeves and say, now you have to do that. That is ridiculous. Everybody will understand that. That it doesn't work like that. We have to understand that we are linked with each other. Sometimes loose and sometimes very firm and strong. They have a strong link to somebody else. And sometimes a very weak connection to somebody. Well, but the point is now, how often do I try to come into a specialist area? Do you want it? Let's say I'm a great I have a great affection for somebody else, but this somebody else don't even know me. But to do that, I ask myself what he like to do, how he is like, what kind of person he is, and then I ask myself, are we somehow agreeable? And if not, what do I have in me that I am so attracted by him, even when I have to discover, but actually it doesn't give a good match? Why? Because I would have, in that case, a lot of energy points inside me, a lot of energy particles inside me, which match the other guy, despite the fact that I actually don't want that. So I did make a completely different choice. Now, maybe for 200 years ago it was different. Then I thought it was very well like to be like him. And so I think, okay, very great, and I am the same. But 200 years later, maybe nowadays, or in 500 years, who knows, I come to a point, no, not like that. But and I can choose, I can make up a different choice. It's okay. I can completely make another choice and say, no, I choose that way now. I don't go this way anymore, now I go that way. Can I go that so easily? Can I stop it so easily? Yes, I can. Despite the fact that I have a lot of energy points or energy elements inside me, which draw me immediately to another direction, despite the fact that I actually want to go there. Hence it is so difficult for us to change. I mean, how often do you hear people who say, "I want to stop smoke cigars, and I stop it now. I don't eat any sweeties anymore, or whatever, sweets and candies anymore because I'm getting fat or something like that." How often people tell that and don't do? Oh yes, tomorrow I start to do gym and go and make more sports or something. Normally then I don't want it. I know that because I am the one. I am the one who said, tomorrow I start to run. I don't run, I take a book and read. It's gym for my head. Okay. Tell you what, as long I have energy elementals inside me, which match another thing better than that what I actually want, these energy elements will draw me immediately to something else as I want to go. You get it, okay? But when now you say, don't, shug it, egal, doesn't matter. I leave myself to a very high vibration, and I leave myself really to a very, very high vibration. It's my vibration. Hello? Hello? Somebody there? Beside that, I come from an origin, and this origin is my origin as well. And by the way, this origin is a very, very high. It's a very high vibration. It's maybe God, it's our highest angel, it's my highest self, or whatever it is. But at first, it has a very high vibration. If I leave myself now to a very high vibration, my whole thinking will be different. I immediately stop to want that what I am now at that very point where I have to discover. Actually, the other might be right. So good I wasn't, and that was really not a good idea to do so. I want to change it, and I will. And the more I leave myself to a high vibration, the more I am able to go away from that what I refuse. Is that possible for you to understand? It would be very well, because as long as we don't get this fact, and that is a fact and nothing more, nothing less, as long as we don't get that fact, we always start to rule our world with an artificial intelligence somehow, which doesn't belong really to me or to us, and we are in highest danger that we give up our things, our thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm German. What do you expect? Our thoughts to give to somebody else. Maybe it's a good kind. Then it's the stroke of luck. It is not so. It's not too bad at all. But maybe it is very bad. Who knows? 80 years ago in Germany, it was very bad. You can take my word for it. And so we have to be very, very on the alert. What we actually, how do we live to what? What is our choice about that? I'm a very, very, I really think in advance, and I think what happened next week, what will happen next year. I really think that I say, okay, I'll leave myself to a holy vibration, and since I leave myself to a holy vibration, nothing can happen to me anyway. That might be true, and it's okay. But I leave myself really to a high vibration. I leave everything to it. My work, my books, my healthiness, and everything else. I tell you what, considering that what happened in Germany with medicine and what's going on in our hospitals, when I hear what doctors tell me, I tell you what, I think medicine and something else and doctors and whatever was yesterday. Today, nowadays, is healing. Because we get the idea that something can only happen when I'm open for it, when I'm receptive for it. Then I am able to get whatever here is regarded as pretty bad. When I have the resonance for that, I will catch it. Don't you know some stories when somebody really tried to prevent something? Everything may happen, but not that, and not that, and not that, and everything what he undertake to stop that and to prevent that something can happen. Exactly that happened because he did so much that not can happen. The father who wants to avoid that another guy marry his beautiful daughter is such a case. He tried everything to keep the young man out from her. What happened? Because of that, this guy meets his daughter. When the father wouldn't do anything, then we probably never may have met. It's a fairy tale in Germany, and I think we have some very similar talkings and stories. Do you understand what I mean? Everything, but really everything is due to your vibration. Everything. And where you set your eyes on, and where you put your whole attention on, that will guide you through your life. It's like a compass. I only have to look at my compass and I know quite well where's north. I think you know that. Because a compass is really nothing what we don't know. I only have to ask myself, if that, when I do that, and when I set that and that in motion, what kind of vibration will come out of that? It's like a music. I know what happened, what sound it does give when I destroy a piano, and I know quite well what sound it will give when I play a song or that on that. It gives different noises, doesn't it? And since we have this knowledge, I think we should use it in the meantime. I think we should have learned it. It's highest time. Unfortunately, someone wrote me today, we have only 200 years and then our resources are over. If we continue like we are. Well, this is very optimistic. I see that we have not even 30 or 40 years. And another paper teach me that our resources, when we don't change our behavior within 6-7 years, the earth is irreversible ill. Then we can't hold on the worst processes. What will take place then? Well, maybe that's why our politicians and chiefs in the politicians chiefs or whatever in countries have no interest to undertake something to protect our global processes here, when they know we have maybe 3 or 4 years time to behave like pigs, and then maybe we should really stop the whole process in order to save us all. Maybe it works, but I have another idea. Let's take 2 and 3 or 4 years to teach at least our children and teach our young people and teach ourselves anyway to take care for that what we send out, and realize that everything what we are, what we able to set in motion, will have an answer, and this answer is exactly of that kind what I sent out before, and I try to understand you that. And I know a lot of people here who listen, if they listen, know a lot about mathematics and physics and chemists. Well, life are not always the same, and I have had not so much possibilities to study and to learn. I have to do it in a time where other people start to work for a PhD, that I could start to learn anyway at first. My life way wasn't so straight, unfortunately. At the other hand, I am one of the smartest people here in the world who are clever enough to ask for the power with what they want to do something. And that is something what a lot of people who have maybe their gradation and wrote many, many books about very, very important subjects forget about. You can do what you want, but ask for the special power first before you can start something. We have to learn first ourselves, to know ourselves. At first we have to let's say, prepare us for that what we like to do before we can start. And if you don't believe me, then think on Stephen Hawking. He was really brilliant, was the guy. He was fantastic, and for me, he was really my big. No, I'm a fan. No, that's not true. He was honestly, he was one of the greatest teachers in the world had ever had. Stephen Hawking was really one of the greatest teachers what we have ever had, because he was the archetype of the immovable mover, the immobile mover, like a god. A god never move, never ever, but he set everything in motion, as long as we are apart from it. And now tell me what kind of, tell me another point, another person who got 1 billion heads, 2 billion arms, and 2 billion legs. Because Stephen Hawking had I think 1 billion followers. He was a bit godlike. He was, of course, he wasn't a god, because a god is always a really archetype. I mean, then we have a god of let's have honesty or braveness. We have a god of love. We have a god of light. We have a god of physics and chemic and biology. We have God for everything. Look at something and there's a God behind. That is to say, there is an idea behind. But an idea never talk to you. Impossible. I mean, an idea is the preparation of something, and then we have to copy of. An idea is a negative of that. It's something. It is. How can I put it? It is original, and then we can copy that. Okay? So that is a God, an original. And Stephen Hawking was now not the person. Stephen Hawking was maybe an original, but definitely the guy who played the role of Stephen Hawking wasn't, of course, a God at all. But he follows something. And so we do as well. Everybody of us follows something. Everybody of us follow an origin. Let's say Steve Halliday. Let's say we know a person called Steve Halliday. Then this Steve Halliday have a perfect version of Steve Halliday. And this Stephen Halliday now, in his life, try to become the best copy of Steve Halliday. That is our intention, to be here. And so everybody do his best what he can to fulfill this perfect idea from himself. And so did Stephen Hawking as well. But it is very seldom that somebody is so immovable and so immobile and can't move in any way and set so much in motion. It affected millions and billions of people. That's why I say it's a bit godlike. I don't think that he was one. And I don't pray to him, you can believe me that, of course my hope die. But I really adore and admire him. And there was something about this guy that we all were so fascinated by him. And if he knew, now I come to the first what I said, I am smart enough and clever enough to realize, since I can't work wonders here, I ask for energy that I can do everything, and whatever I do, it may be turned out very well. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing here. And I do it when I wish to do so. Because that is something what I want. And besides, what I do here is nothing what somebody else can do as well. And since I am the one who asks for a special power, and I'm hopefully receptive for that, it is nothing what sent me into another, would make me a kind of exception. And something like, he is the chosen one, he is the chosen one. No, not at all. And God is, I know God somehow very well, at least I understand God very well. And I tell you what, whatever God is, but he is not particular. everybody can choose this kind of way he likes to choose. And so it is not the question if there or there or he or he or he or he or she or she or she or she is a chosen one. The question is if she chooses. Does she make the choice to be something what she likes to be all the time? Or is she so misleaded by something else? And everything what comes in her way drive her attention to something else. That is the idea, to be concentrated on that what you are. And beside, maybe, but some people are many, many stones in their own way. A lot of stones. But then put them aside. These stones are only the kind of echo what comes from the from the past. Whatever, when you have a stone in your way, you can't believe me. That is the answer of the past. So you just put it away. Don't be like that. And if you start to fight back for something, when you have struggle, when you fight, well, then you can forget it, because nothing will happen when you start to really fight against something. It's okay to give some supreme effort, of course. We all do. Everybody, we all give our supreme effort to be like that. What we like to be. That's the point. And the only thing what's very funny actually is that we always disturb each other so much. Why? Must be not necessary. Yeah? It doesn't have to be so necessary to disturb all the time other people. You can make a point, I don't want to be disturbed like that. Maybe you heard from the philosopher Diogenes. Diogenes was very poor and have nothing of his own. But one afternoon he lay down and sunbathing, and suddenly he realized a shadow falls on his head, and he looked up, and Alexander the Great stands before him. And he admired the philosopher so much and asked, I am Alexander the Great. Oh, I am Diogenes, the dog. Please, grant it. We have a wish. I granted you everything. Oh, please go aside go out of the sun, please. You look, when people causes in your life anger, when you're furious, then just think that, oh, come on, I don't want to be angry now. I don't want. I hate it to be angry about something. Please, go away. Go out of the sun. Okay? Try. And it will work. Look, seek, and you will find. I know that it's like that because you have a Holy Spirit. And if you have a Holy Spirit, this Holy Spirit have no attention at all to leave you alone. When you fail, the Holy Spirit fail too, and you don't want it. Just ask Him. And don't think it is your business to tell other people what is right or wrong. I mean, I tell you all the time what you can do to concentrate on what you can better leave. It's true, it's a suggestion. But when somebody tells me he has written a book and he knows that and that and that, I will never gainsay, because I have no intention at all to discuss with somebody about if that idea is correct or not. I only ask myself, what would happen when everybody thinks that is correct? What will happen then? And immediately I stop to tell anybody I know the truth about everything. But I know one thing. Whatever you think, if it has a high vibration, everything goes fine. And beside that, a high vibration to get means a great will from your side. It's much easier to learn a poem or to study mathematical law. You have to find your own will and follow your own will, and nothing. Sometimes it seems that nothing is more difficult.